Greetings, sports fans. ASMR Sports. Right back at you with another video. Alright, well, this is my first video since the first video I'm recording after the conclusion of my work. Kind of marathon that lasted about a week and a half. And really put a cramp on my life during that time, so I'm hoping to get right back into my regular schedule and hopefully making videos every day. Lots of fun content to do, and if I have the time, I definitely want to do it. So thanks for your patience. Hopefully you'll be seeing kind of more regular uploads here after this point. Another thing I did is I also set up. This is my kind of workspace. Is like a table. You've seen this a bit if you've watched some of my more recent videos. And I set up one of my computers right over there, which will allow me to do live streaming from this setup, which is kind of nice because this area is in my card dungeon. And I'll have access to my cards, and also, like, you know, it's a big old open table, so I can do like sorting stuff here. I can do, just kind of whatever. Whereas the thing I was doing live streams, or the desk I was doing live streams at before, is more like my work desk, and I don't really have my cards very accessible up there, and yeah, there's not a lot of room. It's not very ergonomic for doing like sorting stuff, so I think this will be good. Hopefully I can do more regular live streams, like if I'm just kind of doing something down in my card dungeon and I want to pop on the stream and have you all join me. I can do that a lot more easily now, so that's great. Okay. So I have a PSA order. This is a 15 card order that I use my collector's club vouchers for. But first, I got a fun little package from our friend Easy E on the channel, who's a Red Sox fan out east, and decided to donate all of his, or probably not all, but a bunch of Yankees cards to me because he knows I'm a big Yankees fan. So shout out to Easy E for doing that. Really appreciate it. I've taken like kind of a quick stroll through the different stacks of cards here, but not looked at everything in detail. So that's what I want to do with you all on video to see what we got here. It's gonna be fun. So Derek Jeter Upper Deck. What year is this? 2003 looks like. Very cool. You know, I don't have many cards at all from like 1995 through 2016. So it's really fun to kind of get some of these cards from a time that I did not really collect, but definitely was a Yankees fan. Looks like a 2004 Fleer Ultra. And we got Rookies and Greats 2003. Very cool. It's pretty cool looking Diamond Pro Sigs collection. Upper Deck, all this blue foil. If I didn't know better, I'd say that's a parallel, but I don't think it is. This is from 2004, so lots of 2003 through kind of 4. Roger Clemens, Yankees, 1999-2000, championship caliber insert. Very cool, very cool. Al Leiter, one of my favorite color guys for the Yankees broadcast team at Yes Network. his son Jack Leiter is a very, very well-regarded pitching prospect in the minors right now. He's recently drafted. Oh man, this brings back the memories. So this was what, although I didn't collect in '85, I was not really, I hadn't even heard of sports cards yet. I did start collecting shortly after, like in '86, '87. And one of my best friends when I was a kid was a huge Rickey Henderson fan. And I was a huge Don Mattingly fan. And that worked great because this '85 Topps card is actually a Topps traded card. That's why it's got the kind of neon green back there instead of a plain cardboard back. Because Rickey, this is his first card with the Yankees. Prior to this, he had played for the A's, as you can see on his stats there. And he was quite the stud when he got picked up by the Yankees. Stolen bases are like out of control. He had 100 plus like 3 times in his first 6 years. So, really the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. Coming to the Yankees, people were pretty excited about that. I bet I wasn't really a Yankees fan in '85. I wasn't a baseball fan at all. But, by '86, '87, I was following the Yankees and, never knew life as a Yankee fan before Rickey Henderson. So, it was all gravy. They had Rickey, they had Don Mattingly. They had some other decent guys like Steve Sachs came over from the Dodgers. They had Dave Winfield in the outfield. A decent pitching staff. But boy, did they struggle during that time period. There's Billy Martin, the famous on-again, off-again manager of the Yankees. He had I don't know how many stints, 6 or 7, I think, as the Yankee manager, and usually would, go a few years and get into a big fight with George Steinbrenner, and either get fired or walk off himself and then come back, a year or 2 later, so... Quite a character, classic Yankee story. Billy Martin's management career. Dave Winfield, a couple Dave Winfields, 3 Dave Winfields. That's kind of like a reprint card from let's see, what's that? 2001 Topps. Yeah, Dave Winfield came over from. We started with the Padres, but yeah, I guess he was the first team to Yankees were the first team he played with after the Padres, but after the Yankees he went on to, and actually it wasn't too long after this, he went on to the Angels, and then maybe a couple of other teams before retiring. In I want to say 93 or so he retired, but he was this big, tall guy. He was like a 3-sport athlete, and I think he got drafted in the NFL draft, the NBA draft, and the Major League Baseball draft, but decided to play baseball. A Minnesota native, he played for the University of Minnesota, where I went to college. I was way before my time, but pretty cool. Just really outstanding offensive force of nature. Could hit for pretty good averages, but lots of power. 357 home runs by this point in his career, so that guy was pretty amazing. Not unlike, like an Aaron Judge type of player, really. Pretty decent in the outfield, too. Cannon of an arm. And there's my main guy, of like boxes of Don Mattingly cards from basically all over the spectrum, you know, from like 84 to whatever, like 98 or 2000, like, you know, years after he retired, but still was having cards in sets. So I got just a ton of cards of his, but I'm always happy to have more. This is a Upper Deck 95. These are a couple of these Fleer little box sets that seem to be all over the place in the mid to late 80s. Here's a nice Fleer 97. 96 World Series. So this is kind of like a second year card in that he started in, I mean, his rookie cards are, you know, if you go by sort of normal rookie card standards, would be 96 because it's the year after he played his first games, and he had a, you know, pretty minimal debut there with 48 at-bats. However, he was such a highly touted draft pick that, you know, he had like cards as soon as he was drafted in 93, and so those are kind of, you know, considered to be his rookies, even though he wouldn't play in the majors until 95. So it's hard to define what a Derek Jeter rookie is, but his sort of key rookie cards are 93 Upper Deck SP, which is very condition sensitive and very valuable in the higher grades. And then 1993 Topps, which has a gold parallel that's, you know, quite a bit more valuable than the base, but they're both pretty good cards, especially if you have them in a PSA 9 or 10. I actually have a few like jumbo packs of 93 Topps that you can get Jeter rookies in. I bought those, like, I don't know, from a dealer that I know, I don't know, maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago. And I have a sealed case of 93 Topps rack boxes, a 3-box case. I think I bought that for like $750, and it's probably worth, I don't know, a couple, 3,000 right now. Some classic stuff, yeah. Lots and lots of these I have. Home field advantage, you gotta love the old fielding with a batting helmet on photo. I used to see a lot of pictures of John Olerud, who did that because he had like some kind of, I don't know, I think he had like an injury or something in his like head that, you know, made it very dangerous for him to be, you know, getting hit with anything. So he wore a helmet, protective hard helmet on the field. That's my recollection. Anyways, that's all based on what I remember from being a kid and Joe and John Olerud playing, so I might be completely wrong. But I never double checked it. Some good old base Upper Deck here, 94 right there. This is kind of an interesting card. What is this? Some kind of like 80s looking thing. Oh, you know what I bet? So this looks to be hand cut, and I bet this came from like a baseball cards magazine kind of thing. I have a complete run of baseball cards magazine. Actually, is it complete? Maybe it's not complete, but I have a extended run of that from like 89, like early 89, all the way to like 95. And at some point in there, I think it was like 91 or 2, it changed from baseball cards magazine to sports cards magazine because, you know, basketball and football cards became so popular. Look at this Score 95. Boy, I don't know if I've ever seen a Score 95 card. I'm sure I have this card, but I don't know. It doesn't seem very familiar to me. 90 Fleer. Alright, and a 91 Upper Deck. There's Donnie Baseball just dropping the head of the bat right on the ground. bunch of kind of 2000s and 80s and everything in between. So what is this now? Lou Gehrig. I feel like this might be like a parallel, but I'm not really super familiar with Allen and Ginter parallels, so it may be easy. Will tell us if this one is a parallel, but the fact that it's in a top loader suggests to me that perhaps there is something about this that's special. Sometimes these have kind of like special surfaces, like matte surface or glow in the dark, believe it or not. I was looking for that, but yeah, I don't know. That might just be a base mini of Gehrig, but we'll check it out now. We're getting to some interesting stuff. Look at this, an old red roughing card, a big name pitcher for the Yankees. Probably won a ton of. Look at this, World Series. Played in 10 World Series games, so he went to a lot of World Series. He was 7-2, and that is a really good record. I'm not sure when this card is from, but I want to say it's probably from like the 60s or something. And he played much earlier, so this is kind of like a, an all-time greats kind of set, I believe. I feel like I've seen cards from this set before, but that's really cool. That's pretty awesome. A really great pitcher in Yankees history. And here's another old school card. This is a 49 Bowman, I believe. 1950 Bowman. Yeah, that sounds about right. Gus Niaros. I have not heard of him. Let's read a little bit if we can. Batted .279 in 32 games in 1949. Gus entered the majors in 1948. Caught 83 games, hit 2-something. Played semi-pro ball in Alabama and attended Auburn University before joining pros in 1941. In service for 3 years, caught 93 games for the Kansas City Blues, hit .321, and led the American Association backstops in fielding. So he must have been like the backup catcher for Yogi Berra for whatever time he was with the Yankees, but I've not heard of him. So, very cool card though. Always fun to have an older Yankees card. I've got a few. I like them all. Here we go. So Garrett Cole. Another Allen Ginter mini. Bernie Williams actually was my favorite Yankee when he played with the Yankees. Now he's a pretty accomplished jazz musician, plays jazz guitar professionally and still tours actively, and I think has quite a following, so that's kind of cool. Here's a Giancarlo Stanton Topps Fire card. I wonder a little bit if this is a parallel, but it's kind of hard to tell with the Fires because they're all really loud. It's a nice looking Dave Winfield 84 Topps All-Star. Corners are super sharp except this bottom right one, a little bit dinged up. Otherwise that'd be like a really high grade card probably. Looks like we got some modern cards, which is always fun. So Gio Urshela just got traded by the Yankees. The Yankees traded him and Gary Sanchez to the Minnesota Twins for Josh Donaldson and a couple other kind of lesser players. So very interesting. Gary Sanchez has been a mainstay of the Yankees for quite some time. Be interesting to see what they do about the catching spot. If you Twins fans out there, to let me know. I have a really nice Topps Chrome update 2019, I think it is. Autograph of Gio Urshela. I think it's a gold, and I think I had it graded, so it's a really nice card. There's Luke Voight. Luke Voight seems to still be on the team for now, but Yankees, I think, are not happy with him as the everyday first baseman. He's, got a lot of pop in his bat, but not the best defensive player, and has had a lot of injury troubles in the past couple years, so really tough to keep him on the field. And Yankees are looking probably at somebody like Anthony Rizzo coming back to the team, or signing, somebody else. But there's a lot to be done for the Yankees, I think, yet this offseason, I think, but I am wrong. Maybe they won't do much. DJ LeMahieu, still with the Yankees for a few more years. Gleyber Torres, very cool Rookie Cup card, All-Star Game. I'm surprised. It's funny, I've never seen this card, but I didn't think they put these Rookie Cup cards on any All-Star Game cards. So that's very interesting. This is a 2019 Topps update. Gleyber Torres is pretty much a lock for second base position with the Yankees. Doubt they will trade him, and nobody else is really competing for that spot. So he's definitely likely to play a full year at second base. And last year he had a real off year. He kind of had a few weeks or months where he was definitely hitting quite well, but for the most part had a pretty off season last year. And most of the year he was playing shortstop, and they finally moved him to second base after that basically kind of wrecked his offense for whatever reason. And he did a fair bit better at second base, but I'm really hoping he comes back and does gangbusters for the Yankees for a few reasons. One is that he obviously is really a good hitter with a lot of potential, and if he can get back to his prime, it's going to help the Yankees a lot in the second base spot. Another is I have a metric crap ton of his cards that are going to be worthless if he doesn't get his act together. Also, he's still a pretty young player. I don't think we're going to see his age on this, but I think he's probably like 25. But he's relatively young still, and a hot hitting young infielder for the Yankees is always a hot commodity because the Yankees have so many collectors, and it's good for the hobby, I think, to have a Yankees hitter that's lighten things up as Aaron Judge did in 2017. This is a nice 2018 Topps Heritage little mini decal thing. I'm not sure. I bet these came in hobby packs randomly inserted. That's kind of a cool card. It's got the nice little rookie, all-star rookie logo, so that's fun. Alright, well, that's the Yankee stuff. Now we're going to get to, thanks again, Easy. That was awesome, man. I really love just looking through a bunch of stuff I haven't, seen before, and when it's the Yankees, it's even funner, so really appreciate that. Alright, so let's get on to part 2 here. We've got the 15-card order that I sent in as my member collectors club, or whatever they call that, membership with the PSA at 15 cards, or there's one where you could have, they don't sell, do they sell memberships anymore? I don't know what, they must. But anyways, back when I bought this thing, there was like a 10-card silver membership, I think, and like a 15-card gold. So I got the gold one, and I had 15 cards, and PSA shut down, and I was like, oh crap, I can't use it anyways. I found out that I could use it, but I had to basically submit these cards under a regular order, which costs $100 a card, and then you're supposed to leave like a note in there with your member number, and they will adjust the price, which that's what I did. It worked out well and smoothly, so I'm grateful for that. So these cards, interestingly, came in these sleeves, which is a privilege they give to I think regular or better orders. Service level, I should say. Normally I do bulk orders and they don't put these sleeves on those. So this is the first time I've got anything back with sleeves. So I'm gonna go in order of like least expensive to most expensive. So some of these cards I submitted were a gigantic mistake. Because you know, the turnaround time on these, and I guess the attention they give them, you know, is equivalent to the $100 a card regular service level. So I probably should have stuck with better cards, but I was just like, I don't know, I just had some cards I wanted to, you know, in a pile that were looking like 10s, and I picked kind of, mostly I wanted to get the Ohtanis in here. There's a bunch of Ohtanis. But this was a giant mistake. This card, I couldn't even find like a sold one on eBay, but I'm pretty sure like the 2000, this is a 2020 Panini Prism Dominance Silver, and the 2019 version of this card in PSA 10 was going for like $15 on eBay, so this is probably worth like $12. And I got, you know, $100 grading service that I didn't pay $100 for, but so that was a big mistake. I should have just looked up the, you know, comps for this card in PSA 10 and picked something else, but I don't know, I didn't really want to bother, and that's a mistake. This is probably a mistake too. Tricolor Prism, Cole Anthony. I don't know, I pulled this, I think, from a box of 2020 Select Hybrid, and it's not a particularly rare parallel, but, you know, he's having a really good year, and I thought it looked really nice out of the pack, so I sent it in, got a PSA 10. It's probably like a $40 or $50 card. So again, definitely not worth the price of regular grading, but if you get the grading for free, why not? So, those are the kind of mistake cards I think I probably wouldn't have sent in hindsight. The rest were at least like decent. So y'all saw me pull this on opening of 2021 Optic Choice, and you know, what can I say? He's a really good young hitter. Had a really nice year last year, and this is number 299. So it's a relatively low numbered parallel, and I don't know. I thought, what the hell? Why not get it graded? You know, if he starts off hot in 2022, this is gonna be a nice card to have, but. No comps. I'm not sure I looked for comps for this because I was like, These choice prisms are relatively rare to find graded, so you know, I don't know. I didn't look for comps on this. I don't know what this would be worth, but for the rest of these, I'm gonna try to tell you what I think they're worth based on comps. But another PSA 10, so happy about that. Alright, now we're getting into, I think, like, just Ohtanis here. Yeah, I think everything else is an Ohtani. So basically, when Ohtani was going nuts, you know, I realized, this was last year, you know, I realized, boy, I haven't graded a lot of Ohtanis. I've graded a few, but I have a ton of Ohtanis. Because I bought a ton of cards in 2018, and that's his rookie year. So I have like a ton of these 2018 Bowman base rookie cards, and when he was like at the height of his popularity in 2021, the 2021 season, these things were going for like $350 for like a long time. And I was like, God, man, I got some of those. Like, I sure wish I could get stuff graded right now, because, you know, I'd love to turn these cards that I had, like, in probably like $1 box into $350 cards, but grading was shut down at that time, so I just hung on to them, and, definitely send them in. So I probably had like 6 or 7 of these. And I picked the 2 best ones that I thought would be, you know, grade worthy. And sent them in, got PSA 10s on both of them. So right now these go for about $165 a pop. And not $3.50, so definitely down quite a bit, but still, you know, like it's like a dollar card turned into something that's quite a bit more valuable than a dollar. Next up, there's a lot of Bowman's Best in this order, just because I opened a ton of 2018 Bowman's Best and had not submitted. I think any of the Ohtani stuff, I've submitted some of the Acuna stuff, some of the Soto stuff. I still have a bunch of it pending grading right now, but I really had not ever even thought about submitting most of the Ohtani stuff. But these cards right here, let's see, what do they go for? I'm looking at my notes. Oh wow, these go for $200. Just the base rookie cards in PSA 10. I sent in 3. I think, you know, it's funny. I don't think there's a whole lot of Bowman's Best cards of Ohtani that I held back. Everything that I looked at looked pretty good. Centering is kind of hard to judge on these cards, which is, I think, works in your favor a lot of times, or can work in your favor. So, you know, if the surface is clean and the corners are good, I'm gonna probably send a Bowman's Best card in, and that's what I did with these, and gem in 10 on all 3. So that's a really nice score right there. Next up are the refractor versions of that card. I had 2 of them, sent them both in, both of them gemmed. Let's see. These go for $300 right now. I'm sure that when he was super hot, these were probably like $600-700 cards. But probably few of them were graded at that time, so that's kind of why that happens. But I also think that if he, you know, starts off hot again and hits like, you know, 10 home runs in like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, this stuff's gonna be really, really shooting up again. Anyway, so those are super nice. I've talked a lot about atomic parallels out of Bowman's Best and how there's really a gaining appreciation for them. Now this is a subset insert card, so it's not going to have the value of a regular card of his, but you know, these Power Producers cards, or really any card in this set that is an atomic, is going to have some good value. So I was like, alright, I'll send that one in. Got a PSA 10, so can't go wrong with that. Now, I could not find any sales of this particular card in PSA 10, but my guess is this might be like a $400 or $500 card, which is pretty crazy because there's definitely a time where I would have sold this for like $2 raw. Put these off camera so you can't see them. Looks like we have, after this card, we have one more Ohtani and 2 other non-Ohtanis. So this card came from, I can't remember, I think it, so not too long ago I started looking through all my monster boxes of star cards, like star baseball cards, organized by team. And I can't remember if it was during that process or some other time I was looking through that box, but basically I discovered I had this Ohtani in like basically just a collection of, you know, low value star cards. And I realized this is actually a parallel because that Ohtani you see in white is normally in a different color. Forget which color that it, I want to say it's like yellow, but oh, actually it's this. This is what's normally, I think, in yellow, the Angels. So anyways, you look on the back and it says team colors. Yeah, so that's That's the parallel. So I was like, oh man, that's amazing, because, you know, it's a Ohtani rookie parallel. I mean, that's a pretty huge deal, right? Not numbered, but still awesome to have a parallel of an Ohtani rookie. So I pulled that out when I found it. You know, again, it's like sitting there with like 5 cent, 10 cent, 50 cent cards. I pulled it out and I kind of put it with my Ohtanis, and as I was looking through things to grade for Ohtani, I was like, yeah, you know what, I mean, 90% chance that's a PSA 9, I feel, because they're really picky about centering on heritage cards. I've graded a lot of heritage cards, and I generally only send them in if the centering is absolutely perfect. This one was a tiny bit off. So I was like, yeah, you know what, as a PSA 9, this is a nice card, because, you know, there's not a lot of these out there. And again, Ohtani is just, you know, super valuable right now, and he's only going to get, I think, more interest as we get closer to the season. So I was like, yeah, I'll send that in, get my PSA 9, and have a, you know, nice graded parallel rookie of Ohtani. Well, came back PSA 10, so fantastic there. Let's see, what did I look this up for? It's about a $400 card based on comps. So very nice Ohtani rookie. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. The last Ohtani. This is a big one. There it is, the Atomic Base. This is like the main card I wanted to send in of Ohtani, because I had no idea how like valuable these were. You know, most of the time I had this card, but once I looked it up, and I think I discovered that the Atomics were so valuable because I had a Soto Atomic Base that I sent in a million years ago, and I still have that. And I was looking at pricing, and I was like, holy crap, that thing's worth a ton. So now I'm like, okay, what other atomic parallels or atomic, parallels of players do I have? And Ohtani was one. So I found this, and when I looked this up, when he was again lighting things up in 2021, kind of the mid-year, like before the All-Star break, he hit a major home run, like drop off after the All-Star break, because like he went into the home run derby, and that always kills guys. So I swear to God, he hit like 50 home runs first half of the season, like two the second half of the season. It wasn't really like that, but it sort of felt like that. But he definitely hit way fewer home runs. So I hope he comes back and is his like first half of 2021 form. Anyway, so when I looked this up, at that time in PSA 10, I think this was like a $1,500 card. So I was like, oh man, I gotta get that thing graded. That'll be like the next card I grade. So anyway, super happy this got a PSA 10. Current value of this card is $800 according to comps. It's a beautiful card. These cards are amazing looking. All right, so that's it for the Ohtanis. Now we got two more cards, and you know what the last one is if you've been listening to my videos. This one is pretty cool. I must have opened like one box of 2020 Bowman Mega Box. I have a bunch of them, and they're going at all the 2020 Bowman stuff is going up in price because Jason Dominguez, the Yankees phenom, is in there. But I think more importantly, Bobby Witt Jr.'s first Bowman cards are in there, and he's been just getting a ton of interest from prospectors. But another, I guess really good player in 2020 Bowman is Anthony Volpe, who had a really good year last year, and people are starting to, pay a lot of attention to him because the Yankees really need shortstop help right now. It'd be nice if he could come up and be ready to play in 2022, but he's probably at least a year away, probably 2 years away from that. So, he's not an immediate help, but he is doing well, way better than projected, I think, initially, and people are getting really excited about him. So his stuff is shooting up in price. I happen to pull this pink card. I feel like I did that on a video, but maybe I didn't. From a it's a Mojo Refractor pack in a Bowman Mega Box. And you know, I just kind of filed it away, and at some point I was looking at cards that could be worth grading, and I was like, you know, that's really actually well centered, and everything else was fine, so I sent it in. This is number 199. So I sent it in, and yeah, look at that, PSA 10. You're noticing a theme here. Every single card has been a PSA 10. Let me just see what I got. Yeah, so an ungraded one of this card sold, I think, in the last few weeks for $300. So my guess is a PSA 10 is probably about 3 times that, so maybe like $900 to $1,000 is what I think this card is worth. So that's a huge win, especially for a Yankees fan like myself. So super excited about that. Last card, and this is a doozy. But damn, Ja Morant, 2019 Panini Select Rookie Card, Rookie Signatures, PSA 10. What is up? So I talked about this card in a video I did, I don't know, a week ago or maybe a week and a half ago, well, probably like 2 weeks ago, because I'd got an email about an upcharge for my order because of this card, and I basically, well, I'll just recap. Basically, this card, I pulled a redemption for this in a box that I opened, you know, a million years ago, and I had the redemption around forever because I was just afraid, like, it was never gonna get redeemed. But then I looked up whether these cards were out in the wild. Like, I don't know, maybe like 6 months ago I did that. And they were out, so I was like, okay, I guess it's probably safe to redeem this. So I redeemed it, I got it. It was in, you know, the mag case that higher end cards come from Panini in, with the little Panini sticker on top. And I just kept it in there for months and months. Because I was like, you know, if I'm ever going to sell this thing, I kind of maybe want to have it in the mag case, you know. I think you get a little premium for that if you keep it in there. But I don't know, I had to send this order in, and you know, I'm the type of guy that's not going to pay $100 to grade a card probably ever. So I was like, well, this might be my last chance to grade anything ever, until bulk comes back, like in, you know, 20 years or whatever. So I don't know, I was really like debating what to do with that card, you know, still sealed in its little mag case, and eventually I was just like, you know what, it's a beautiful card. I love Ja Morant. He's probably my second favorite player in the league right now. I was like, you know what, I should just get it graded. And the other thing is, you pull it out of the case, and then like you can't really see a lot of, I think, issues with the card while it's in the case. So it's like, another thing is, once you open it, like, you might find out it's got a flaw, and that it would be worth more if you just kept it sealed. So I was, you know, kind of debating what to do. So anyways, I guess you know, I looked at the centering. I said, you know what, the centering looks really nice on this. So, and the corners look good. So it's like, as long as there's not like a major surface issue, it's going to be worth grading. So I pulled it out, and I did see like one kind of like very small scratch. I can't remember where I saw it. I don't even know if I could see it through the plastic here. Yeah, I feel like it was on this, like over here somewhere. But I was like, okay, well, I guess it's a 9, so I'll just send it in and get my 9 and have a nice life. So I was very shocked when this came back at 10. You know, you hear things like, I also feel like this had like some kind of like horizontal, maybe print lines, but I might have been, I don't know, that might not have been this card. You see that a lot on Panini cards, just like, one or two like very light, perfectly, straight horizontal lines on cards sometimes. And I think actually, like, a lot of the graders at PSA don't really care about that stuff because they know it's just some very minor flaw that happens at the factory, and it's extremely common, so they probably just ignore it a lot of the times. But some folks are just super anal and don't, so I often worry when I send in Panini cards about those things. But whatever. I mean, I'll take a 10. I'm not going to argue. This card here is worth about $3,500. But actually, I don't know. I don't think there's any like recent sales of this. The cheapest one that's listed, a couple of these are listed for like 10,000 or close to it, but there's one that's listed for like 4,500, and it's got like 30-40 watchers. So I would say 3,500 is probably a reasonable estimate of what this thing is worth. But this is amazing. So, all right, if you've been paying close attention, you have noticed that every single card in this order was graded a PSA 10, and you may ask yourself, well, did I submit like a couple $100 bills in the order with the cards? And the answer is I did not. I will say that, most of these cards I thought were pretty dang close to perfect, or I wasn't going to waste one of my precious 15, certificates on them. However, you will notice that, like, for the Ja Morant and for this one, where I thought the centering was kind of a little bit off, although I don't know, I'm looking at this now, it's kind of hard to tell because like the thing on the side there sort of obscures, I think, some of the border, but I'm pretty sure the left border is bigger than the right border. But, a lot of people will tell you like that the guide for grading PSA cards says you can have like up to 60-40 centering and still have a PSA 10, but I don't know, my experience is if you have 60-40 centering, you're effed if you want to get a PSA 10 out of a bulk order anyways. But I think the moral of the story here is, like, these cards were graded, basically as though they were $100 a card service level, and I just think it's I think it's just undisputable. Okay, you can dispute anything, but I think it seems clear to me that if you spend $100 or $150 a card for grading, they give you like red carpet treatment. They give you, I mean, you do get faster service automatically, right? But I just think they're easier on your cards the more you spend at PSA, and I think most people who submit cards at those levels will agree that that's true. I don't submit cards at that level. The only reason I get these submitted is because of my, my Collectors Club membership. But I don't know, like, to get 100% PSA 10s seems like impossible unless there's some difference in how they treat these cards versus the bulk orders. And maybe with the bulk orders, like, it's like, well, all those cards theoretically should be PSA 10s, but, they give a certain percentage 9s just because they're moving too fast, and they're just, finding any little error they can and saying, okay, it's a PSA 9 or an 8. I don't know. I know there are some grading experts who watch the channel, so they'll weigh in with their views, but I have to say, I feel like the fact that this is the most expensive grading service level that I've ever, experienced, and that I got like the best performance is not a coincidence. Although I will say, my first bulk order I submitted, I don't know, 3 years ago. Well, probably like 4 years ago. The gem rate on that order was like 99%. Okay, maybe it was like 95%, but it was like extremely high. So I think, there was a time when they were definitely more forgiving and kind of ready to pump out the PSA 10s. That time is, probably gone for the most part. I think the orders that you saw me do, in the last few videos, were like roughly a 75% gem rate if you didn't count the cards that I submitted that I think were, not really expecting a 10 on. So I think like a 75% gem rate is probably about what you can expect if you take pretty good care care of your cards, and you're pretty decent at submitting the best ones. So that's what I sort of expect. I mean, I think somewhere between like probably 70% and 80% gems is probably what I would expect on an order of cards that I submit. And hopefully I'm on the 80% end of things, or maybe even higher. I doubt I'll be higher, but if I could get 75% gems out of like the cards I have coming back, which is like, I don't know, like 300 plus cards, I'll be very happy with that. But really, I have no idea if that'll be true. Anyways, super excited about this order. I've been waiting for this to come back, and it didn't take too long. It only took like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So that was nice. But hope you guys enjoyed. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're getting excited for the baseball season. I know I am. I am just ready to watch some baseball on the 17th of March, you guys. 17th of March, they're going to do the first spring training games, and I imagine they'll, probably have the usual assortment of games that you can stream online, and usually they have one free game per day. I always subscribe because I want to see all the Yankees games, but they don't broadcast every game in spring training. They never do that. It's more like, a handful of them each day, but I'm super excited to see live baseball. I don't care if it's freaking little leaguers dressed up in major league uniforms. I want to see baseball on my TV. So, alright guys, thanks so much. We'll catch you all later. You have a great one. Bye now.